Hey everybody, welcome back to KF Trades. This is a quick video on a stock that I'm looking at doing some leaps on, and that stock is Target. So let's get out there and try to make some money. Hey everybody, I wanted to take a look at Target. They missed earnings. They missed earnings back on May 18th. Earnings missed with an inventory concern, smaller margins. They lowered their guidance. They lowered their operating margin. I think it was like from 8% down to 5.3 or something like that. Anyways, so they took a hit on that, and then after a couple of weeks, yesterday they come out and said, well, guess what? We're expecting lower margins yet. So here's what I'm looking at. After their earnings, it traded down to the 145.50 area. Didn't quite get there yesterday on that news. And actually, if they lowered it from 5.3% margin down to around 2%, I'd like to see this go a lot lower, especially with the way everything's going. They're only talking about this kind of affecting their second quarter, but still, a lot of people came out, had price target cuts yesterday after this news, and then again today. So let's back up and I'll show you what I'm thinking about here. So right here's that 145 area. This was kind of, it gapped up back in August of 2020. Kind of bounced around, came back down to it, and then took off. Now this 138 area, 138.69-ish, was the high before that gap up. So there's a gap there with nothing there. Technically, you like to see those gap fill. So I'd like to see it come down to that 138, 139 area at least. And the way the market's going with CPI data coming out, if that turns out to be a negative on the market and we get a leg lower, that could be a nice area to watch. So what I'm thinking about doing is not doing anything short term, but once that kind of settles out, if we do get that drop down in there, I'll probably look at doing some leaps. I would look at, let's shorten this back up. So if we get that move down to the 139, 140 area, let's just say anything between 145 and 138. Right in there. If it drops even below that, I would definitely be jumping on this. But I would be looking at the leaps out to January of 2024. Everybody's lowering their price targets by about 15%. I'd like to see this drop because it hasn't really moved since they reported that yesterday. So if we get an adjustment there, I'd like to see it push down into the 130s. If it does that, I would probably look at around the 160. Right around the 160 to probably maybe 165 price target to buy some leaps. So if we get a $20 adjustment on that and it moves down, the price on these right now is $22 to $24. But if we get a $20 move, roughly, you're going to be, right around that $17, $16 range. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there. I'm still expecting a little bit of a pullback on Target yet. It just doesn't make sense that they cut their operating margin and it's trading above where it did after they reported earnings. So I'd like to see that pull back more.